Sharpe has traveled the country and has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. So happy that you are here with me a little bit of your afternoon. You can reach out to me if you want to. 585-346-3000. That is the number. You know, it's the first show of the new year. So you would think that I'd be talking immediately about some New Year stuff. But I'm not. I actually want to think about Christmas. You're going to say, wait a minute, Larry, Christmas? You're like a week or two late. It's true. It's true. However, stay with me here. I remember when I was a kid with my father and my mother, when I was a little kid, celebrating Christmas. Now, my mother, you may know or have heard, was a German immigrant. And she did Christmas the old Northern German way, which is you celebrate Christmas Eve. Not very common in America, but some people in Europe do it that way. My mom did it that way. My dad said, fine, whatever. And we often did Christmas Eve as Christmas. So during the day, Christmas Eve was a big day for us. We'd have dinner together, talk, and the presents would be under the tree and we could see them. But we couldn't open them until after dinner. That's how we did it. So it was exciting for me as a kid. I could see the presents. I couldn't open them up, but it was exciting. I knew something good was in them, some stuff for me. There was a wonder and a joy in that. And then after we eat dinner, we'd have some dessert. My mom would usually cook and make some kind of dessert. We'd all sit down that evening and open up our presents. And it was great. And I remember it like it was yesterday, and I loved the glory of it. But then as I got older, my father passed away. My father died when I was a kid in elementary school, and it all changed. And all of a sudden now, I was the guy who had to put the Christmas tree up. I was the one who kind of knew what the gifts were, because my mom and I were just giving gifts to ourselves. It was only us. And the wonder of it changed. It wasn't so awesome anymore. But it was still nice. It was time with my mom, and we would bring friends over sometimes for Christmas. But the wonder was gone. And then when I left, joined the Marine Corps, Christmas had almost no value to me. It wasn't even nice anymore. I was overseas. My mom was in a very bad place. She was an addict. She was either gone or she was in jail. So there was no Christmas with her. No reason to go home. So literally I'd be on the base, and there were many people who had family and friends and they wanted to go for Christmas. So for those of you who are veterans, you know that there's always someone on duty. And yes, I'm doing air quotes, someone responsible in every barracks 24/7, even during Christmas. I was the guy who would take somebody's duty. I said, you know what? Throw me 20 or 40 bucks. I'll stand duty for you. You go home with your family. I didn't have family. I had no place to go. Really changed. But then when I got married, had my own kids, I got that joy back. I got that wonder back, and I got it through my kids, right? My kids gave it back to me, and I had that wonder and that joy again. I was like, yes, now I can feel good again. And my wife is American, so she's like Christmas morning. So we had to ship the Christmas morning. I didn't care. It was still good, right? My daughters would wake up in the morning and wake us up, and we go downstairs and we go to the Christmas tree, and the presents are there, which I had put there the night before, but that's fine. That was still the glory and the joy that I had and the wonder. Amazing. I love that. This last Christmas wasn't as great because my daughters are older now, right? One of them's in college. So it's still nice, but the wonder was gone a bit. But I still enjoyed it. There was something nice about it. Why in the world would I bring that story up today? Why would I bring up Christmas and joy and wonder and hope today? Because it's the new year. And politically, some things are happening this week. Yesterday, we officially swore in our governor in New York. I didn't feel any hope. I didn't feel anything great. I didn't feel any joy. All I feel is failure and disappointment. That's all I feel. Maybe you feel great. Maybe you feel something I don't know. You probably didn't even know. Most people didn't. We didn't cover it. Not just that, today, new Congress. In fact, swapping out. Democrats losing control, Republicans gaining control. Do you feel hope? Do you feel joy? I don't. I think yesterday's inauguration was filled with lies and just stuff to say to placate people so they could stay in power and laugh at the people who lost and act like they're awesome and beat their chests. And today, Congress is full of intrigue and lies and deals. Where's the hope? Where's the joy? Isn't this supposed to be a new this or a new that? Michael Larry, you know what? You're just being naive. It was never that. Well, maybe you're right. Right? Maybe you're right. Maybe it was never real. Maybe my Christmas joy was never real. But man, I felt it. I had some hope. I wanted to jump up and down and do something special. Look, think about it. If you're on the left, didn't you feel good when the squad got into Congress? Or didn't you feel good when Obama came in with hope and change? He gave you some hope. Of course, now you're disappointed, but at least he gave you some and did in the squad. If you're on the right, wasn't it exciting when Trump had his MAGA or when Newt Gingrich had his contract with America? Remember those? Give us hope. We felt like maybe something's going to happen. Maybe there'll be some change. Let's get up and do stuff. I bring this up because politically, I don't see that much hope. And that's sad. It is. But the story I just told you about me kind of losing the joy of Christmas because of the tragedies of my father and my mother, but then gaining it again and having it back, regaining it. I think we can. But I didn't regain it because all of a sudden my father came back, my mother came back. I regained it because of what I did in my own life with my own family. That's how I gained it back. So I would ask you, if you're not feeling so great about politics right now, I'm not, and maybe you're on my side going, yeah, you know what, Larry, I'm not excited. Okay. I don't have much hope. Okay. How about we look inside our own families now? We look inside our own communities now. And I know that's not easy. I'm aware of that. I'm not fooling myself. You know this is hard. It's not easy to repair things in your family. It's not easy to make things better in your community. That's not an easy thing to do, but it's an important thing to do. And if you look back at everything you've ever been proud of achieving, whatever that thing's been, it wasn't something that was easy. You weren't proud of that. It was easy. You were proud of things that were difficult, that challenged you, that made you think differently or act differently, or just keep going. Even though you fell down, you kept going. I'm asking you this week, this month, this year, even though I know many of us have lost some joy, have lost some hope. I get it. Me too. I would ask you, look inside now. Look at your family. Look at your community. How can you make that better and gain some joy and gain some hope? I know politics is not often great. I talk about it all the time, all the time. But there's something that's stronger than politics, much stronger, if we use it. Culture. If we use our culture, we can beat politics. It's not easy, but it can be done. But it only happens if we do bottom up, not top down. Top down is what we keep doing. We keep trying to do top down. It doesn't work. Let's do bottom up. Your family, your friends, your communities. My family, my friends, my community. Why don't we start doing that? If we start doing that and building that up, we'll have some more hope. And eventually, the people and the communities that we grow there will push forward into our politics. And maybe we'll get some of that hope back. Maybe the next time some guy talks about peddling hope and change, maybe it'll be real. Now, the problem is, will we believe it then, right? We've been fooled before. We're going to be fooled again? Well, you know what? If the culture begins to change and the people or the person starts to step up, and we've seen them make that change within their own family, their own community, then maybe we go, all right, I'll buy it. This person may be real because they went bottom up. That's the critical piece. That's why I told you that story. Even though it might have seemed odd or weird or any of those things. But I'd like you to go back for a second and think about the times that you've kind of lost hope, the times that you've kind of lost that warm joy or wonder in something. How'd you get it back? If you didn't get it back, didn't you want it? And when you got it back, didn't it feel good? It does. It motivates you. It motivates us around you to make real positive change. And we can do it. Am I wrong? 585-346-3000. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me that too. Absolutely. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships.
So I got to share with you, I'm a quarter German, half Italian, and a quarter English. My mom was English and German. We used to have a tradition. Did you have the pickle ornament on the tree?
Helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take
yeah, it's a special ornament. And whichever child finds the ornament gets to open an extra gift in the first gift.
Professionals at Simple Tech Innovations are called today for a consultation at 585.
You're welcome.
3182.
I think it actually stems back from Germany.
3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Are you interested in indoor target shooting? Or do you know someone interested in indoor target shooting? The Rochester Rifle Club has an indoor range in Brighton, New York. Shooting is...
It was something we didn't do as kids, but my parents adopted it when they had grandchildren. So the grandchildren, and of course, my mom wouldn't hang the pickle until New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve. And while we were having dinner, she'd keep the kids out so no one could peek.
Only available in the WYSL store.
Yeah, we always used to open on Christmas Day, and then as we all grew up and got married, it just worked best for us to have Christmas Eve at my mom's and Christmas Day at each of our spouses. You know how it goes.
Of course, you know who is front and center up on that mountain.
Yep, no, all good stuff. Stand by.
Great way for you to make a personal statement. Locally produced and sold only in the WYSL store at WYSL1040.com.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe here, WYSL, Rochester, New York, on Sharpe Way Radio, 585-346-3000. And if you go, Larry, I like this show. Awesome. You can figure it out yourself. No worries. You can check it out. Follow the Sharpe Way on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the interweb things. And WYSL, Rochester, New York. Here we are every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Now, before the break, I was talking about hope, thinking about positiveness and joy. Why do I bring it up now? It may seem silly, but culturally, this time of year matters. Is this time of year actually physically something special? not really. It's another day, right? You could still get up and eat breakfast and do your work like any other day. But culturally, it's the beginning of a new year, which means that now this is a great excuse for you to do something different. Because if you change now, someone says, well, why are you changing now? Man, it's the new year. They go, yeah, that makes sense. We should change. This is a great time of year that people can see that you're changing and not think you're nuts. I mean, you might be nuts, but it doesn't matter. They won't think you're nuts, and they'll actually want to help and get behind you. And that's why I bring it up during this time. New year, new you, renewal. You can make changes. You can shift and adjust to the best of your ability and start it now. Every little bit counts. It's important. Let me grab some chat if I could. Dave says, I don't have to convert. Not at all, Dave. You can be whoever you want to be, any way you want. All good. All good. If you're going to sit here and make your life, your family, your community better, I'm in. 100%. Absolutely. Patty says, yesterday, a very young man, 24, had a heart attack on a football field. Buffalo Bill, DeMar Hamlin. Life is too short not to be the change that is needed to be around me. Yes, I'm glad you brought this up, Patty. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about Hamlin or not. I know a lot of people are. And I didn't know how do I bring his problem, his tragedy, hopefully it will end well, I hope. How do I do that and not take advantage of it? Because his family now is hurting, his friends now are hurting. I don't want to be that guy who's like, let me be sensational about someone's pain. I tend to be more okay with it once it's done, right? Like it's over, but he's in it right now. His family's in it right now. So here's what I'll say. I will copy you, Patty, because you're right. We have to realize that that kind of stuff can happen to any of us. Any of us. He's 24. I'm more than double his age, right? More than double. More than double. So it could happen to me right now, tomorrow, next week, and to you too. Today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, 10 years. We don't know. Might be. I hope it's for everyone, it's 50 years, but who knows? We do have to make change. And if we can look at what happened to him and use that as a way to motivate us to make some change in our life, Patty, you are correct. We should. You are correct. We should. It is a great reason to do that. And we hope, of course, that, a young man, 24, it's never good. If he was 64, 74, 84, 94, it would still be bad. But it's extra bad because we don't expect it at 24. And he's an athlete. So he's healthier than the vast majority of us out there listening. He's a professional athlete. So he's clearly in good shape. And for this to happen, it just shocks us. It makes us think rightly, right? I guess, Patty, you're making me think here. You brought up a very valid point. I think about when I was in my 20s. I'm going off topic, guys. I apologize, but it's Patty's fault. Blame her. I'm blaming you, Patty. I think about when I was in my 20s. About half of my 20s, I was a Marine. Active duty Marine. And I felt almost indestructible. I felt like I couldn't be stopped. I felt like nothing could stop me. I wasn't afraid of going to war. I wasn't afraid of anything. I thought I was indestructible. And clearly I was not. But you couldn't have told me that then. I wouldn't have believed you. I might have believed you like on a physical level. Yeah, I guess something bad could happen to me. But mentally, I thought I was unstoppable. And there's a glory to that. And I'm sure if you're listening, you probably thought the same thing when you were 18, 19, 20. I'm going to live forever. I'm awesome. I have all the answers. I know everything. My parents are all dumb. What's the old saying? As I got older, my parents got smarter, right? So I think that I was that same person. And while there's a glory to that, Patty, to wanting to go off and do everything because you think you're indestructible, we should also realize that we still are human. we shouldn't, what's the saying? Why is youth wasted on the young? Right? We learn everything, and then we're older. Now we're like, wait a minute, now what? I wish I knew what I do now back then, right? Of course. Don't we all have that story? So yes, there is a glory to being 20 and feeling like you can conquer the world and you're indestructible. And there's also a naivete that we should think none of us are indestructible. All of us are fragile, both mentally and physically. All of us are. And we should be doing what we can to keep ourselves squared away. But I'll move to the next level, which is none of us can do it on our own. We need family, we need friends, we need community to assist us in our growth, to assist us in staying strong, both physically and mentally, and giving us joy. I was talking with my wife the other day about our kids, and my oldest is going back to college, and I'm going to miss her tremendously. I've been with her for 19 years now, right? So I will miss her tremendously. She's going back to college, and she's gone for months, came home for the holidays, she's going back again. And I hate it, but I love it, right? She's got to go do her thing. I want her to go, but I'm going to miss her tremendously. And I talked to my wife and I said, my children are my greatest pain and my greatest joy. And the joy outweighs the pain. Doesn't matter. I would take all the pain to get all that joy. But this isn't just kids. This can be our family and friends, loved ones, even our community, all of those things. Once you have roots in the community, sometimes it's also your greatest joy and your greatest pain. All of those things. Your business can be that, right? Your job can be that. All of it can. I went very long on this, and I apologize for that. I'm blaming Patty, so it makes me feel better because I blame somebody else, right? But the point I've been trying to make, the first segment and the second segment, it's the same point. Let's use this time of year, the new year. This is the first show of this year, 2023 for me. Let's use this as a time to make change at the most local level. The most localist level is you. After that, it's your family. Then it's your friends and community. Let's start making change now. Let's be the change that we want to be. Let's make the smallest change possible. I don't mind. Because if you're looking around and you're looking at our leaders, yes, I'm air quoting, they're not trying to change for us. They're just keeping themselves in power. They're just making themselves richer, stronger, more powerful, while we continue to struggle. Think about that. Who knows what this year is going to bring? Positive or negative? Probably a lot of negative is my assumption, because the country's been not doing what it should be doing for decades. And our leaders seem to feel like whatevs, we'll just keep going down that same road. And whether our leaders are at the government level, at the governor level, the president level, federal, state, doesn't seem to matter. All we have right now is local. All we seem to have right now is each other. There's a thing in the internet called, if I remember this right, micro niche communities. I think that's the right term. There's a term for it. I think that's what it's called. Micro niche communities. If you can't physically get out and meet people, either because of a disability, because of where you live, financial situation, whatever's the reason why you can't get out, now may be the time to join some of those communities, to connect with others who are feeling the same way you're feeling, to grow that community. If you can't grow the community locally for whatever reason, you can always grow it digitally. There is an option for you there if you want to. Up to you. Always better to be in person. Guaranteed. That's always better. But if you can't, there's always the ability to do it digitally if you have to. The best part about digital is you can shift into personal. How do I know that? Many people who've heard me on the radio or heard me on the internet have come to my events and met me personally. And now we know each other. To include, by the way, Patty. This whole segment's your fault, Patty. Well, you know I love you. Is Patty right? Am I right? 585-346-3000. Sharpe Radio on WYSL, Rochester, New York. Back with your calls and more of the chat after the break.
Yeah, I Googled that. The Christmas pickle is a German tradition. You're welcome.
For truth and freedom.
WYSL. AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the news and NBC forecast on WYSL. Tonight, cloudy skies with a chance for an isolated or scattered shower throughout the overnight period, low of 37. Heading into Wednesday, looks like the morning hours and the afternoon hours will feature the chance for an isolated shower or some scattered showers, high of 43 in the afternoon, but as we head into the evening hours, we're looking at widespread rain that could limit visibility on area roadways as well. Wednesday night, we're going to be looking at rain early with a low temperature of 37 also. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Alex Bielfeldt under WYSL Station.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
On November 9th, pro-life strategist Reverend Jim Hardin released a 9-point plan to protect women from abortion fraud. The plan stated that the Supreme Court's reversal of Roe is causing knee-jerk pro-abortion policies injuring women. The 9th point of Hardin's plan identifies policies promoted by corporations like Dick's Sporting Goods and Google to pay for abortion travel expenses of employees living in states that restrict the procedure. Hardin's plan encourages government to explore violations of the Pregnancy Discrimination Act by corporate America. The former head of the Women's Bureau at the U.S. Department of Labor, Lori Todd Smith, applauds the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission for pursuing several investigations regarding big corporations' payment of abortion travel expenses. She says, quote, "It's obvious to me that it's cheaper for large corporations to pay for their employees' abortions rather than their maternity leave," end quote. This RealAbortionNews.com update is sponsored by Compass Care.
Are you looking to update the kitchen, bath, or flooring in your home, but don't know where to begin? Whether it's cabinetry, carpeting, hardwood flooring, tile, or kitchen and bathroom remodeling, Claridge Design Center in Chi-Lai Paul Plaza is the place to start. Locally owned with over 25 years in business, Claridge custom designs and builds quality remodeling projects throughout Rochester and Monroe County. At Claridge, the visions and ideas you have for your home are developed with the experienced Claridge designers to make your dream project a reality. And the quality of service you receive at Claridge is second to none. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call Claridge at 889-5800 or visit their website to meet the Claridge team. See examples of their finished work at claridgedesigncenter.com.
If you think today's gas prices are out of control, think what it might cost to heat your home this winter. Consider Air & More infrared zone heaters, which may save you up to 50% compared to using your furnace. Air & More zone heaters have no exposed hot surfaces, completely safe around pets and children, plus easy roll casters. And new copper PTC technology means no bulbs to replace ever. Save big on heating bills and stay comfy and healthy this winter. Buy direct and get lowest prices anywhere on the web. Call 800-707-8725 or visit air-more.com.
Eisen Rochester is a full-service ophthalmology office, and we specialize in general ophthalmology, taking care of people from childhood to adult and seniors. We do general eye exams. We specialize in cataract surgery, corneal surgery, and disease, as well as LASIK surgery. We also have a full-service optical shop and contact lens fitting service.
Visit Eisen Rochester at 1157 Fairport Road.
FM Talk. Is your stove or fridge on the fritz? Then you should know Burt's Lumber and Perry is your appliance place. Ranges and refrigerators, washers and dryers, upright and chest freezers. Buy today, take it home today. And Burt's Lumber can even arrange for local delivery. When you need a new appliance now, remember, Burt's Lumber and Perry is your appliance place. Burt's Lumber and Hardware, 2 Washington Street in Perry. Open 7 days a week, including Sundays, 9 to 1.
I'm John from Tom Malls Avon. Somebody, somewhere in the world makes the best cheeseburger. They probably use fresh ground steak, press it out with a glass pie plate, and use 2 big slices of American cheese.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, Larry Sharpe is here. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000 is the number. Here Tuesdays, 1 p.m. And if you want to follow the show, you can. Absolutely. Just follow the Sharpe Way on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all the things. It's all good. For the break, I was talking about local. And I know some people will tease me and say, Larry, you talk about local, but you ran for governor. Why didn't you run for something local? It's a great question. I get it often. And the reason why I did that is, and I have done that is, one, I want you to do what you can do, right? I'm never going to ask you to do something that you can't do. I'm never going to ask you to do something that's going to, bankrupt you or destroy your family or any of those things. Why would I do that? I want you to be strong. It's very difficult for someone that they have to be in a specific position to be able to take off for a year, cross the state for a year, and run for governor. And to do it as a third party. Wow. It's a challenge. I happen to be in that position. And that's the reason. If I was in that position, I wouldn't have done it. But I was. I looked around and saw, is there anyone else who's in that position who could do it and who would do it as a third party? Not many. Not many. I was just about the only one who could at the moment. So I did. But it's more than that. For those of you who don't know, if you don't know, in New York State, the only way you can become an official party so that all the local people can easily run is if your governor candidate does well. Well, you have to have a governor candidate to do well so that everyone else can run locally. Sadly, last year, I should say now, with the new year, last year, everything collapsed and all the third parties are gone. So now it's just the 2 parties now. I know some of you might go, Larry, wait, there is a working families party for the left and there's a conservative party for the right. You would be absolutely wrong. Those are 2 parasite parties that don't do anything except suck up to the 2 major parties. They don't run their own candidates. They don't do anything except steal your money and pretend like there's something that they're not. So there are no third parties anymore. So I ran for governor so that I could have a third party, so we could have an actual difference, so that local people could run. Now, I know your next question might be, well, Larry, these local people probably can't win. You would be right. They usually can't. In fact, usually third parties can't win at all. That's true. I didn't win. I ran twice, got my butt kicked twice. But people pay attention and listen to me now because I ran. They do it across the state. If you run locally, people pay attention to you, even if you lose. The glory is you might win. And we had wins. For those you remember, in 2018, after I got ballot access and the Libertarian Party became a real party, we had 107 victories locally across New York State the next year in 2019. 107. That's not nothing. It's not control of the state. It's not nothing. That's some wins, which means now people can say, wait a minute, I can run on the issues that matter to me. I don't have to make every single issue local to me a national issue based upon whether or not I support Biden or not, or whether or not I support Kevin McCarthy or not, or whether or not I support the left or the right or not. It doesn't have to matter. What will matter is locally. So I could run as a third party, push the issues that matter to my local area, and shift my people towards what matters to us, regardless whether they love Biden, hate Biden, or whatever. That's why I did it. And that's why I keep doing it. Because local does matter. But we have to push forward at a local level, and the system in New York State doesn't allow us to. We've got to change that. Right now, we do it anyway. We got to just keep pushing on. We just have to. So I'll move to the chat if I could. Jonathan says, you're not right. You're libertarian. Ooh, Jonathan. Nice. I would argue being libertarian by default makes me right. But I'm a little bit biased in that one. Just a little bit. But yes, absolutely. Yes. Dave says, Larry, could one run the Conservative Party ticket? Yes. I mean, you could. Look, to be clear, you could run as working families. You could run as conservative. You could do that. Absolutely. But I would argue what's happened in the past. The Working Families Party, for those of you who may remember that, ran a candidate in Buffalo, New York. I believe her name was India Watkins. Ooh, something. I'm going to get her name wrong. I'm pretty sure her first name was India. I think her last name was Watkins or something similar to that. Is it Walker? Walters? W something. I'm sorry. I'm sure someone will check the data for me. But anyway, she ran Working Families Party. She actually won the Democratic primary. She ran the Democratic primary, Working Families Party, won the primary. The Democrats, Republicans together ran a write-in campaign against her, and the mainstream Democrat beat her with a write-in candidate, and that's why he is now the mayor of Buffalo. Not a very good story to be running Working Families Party in this state. You could do it, but you're going to be backstabbed by your own party if you don't follow the line. So why would you? Conservative Party. 2018, there were Conservative Party who were trying to run for governor. I think his name was DiStefano. Then that's right. No. Yeah, I think maybe DiStefano, if I remember right. That was his name. In 2018, they booted him out. You can't do that. Astorino was running conservative this time in 2022. They gave him the boot too. Conservative Party boots anybody out who doesn't get the Republican nomination. So could you? Yes. Will it work? No, not at all. You will, if you think you're conservative, you get to run Republican or buy. Get out. If you're left, you want to run Working Families, follow the Democrats or goodbye. So yes, Dave, someone could. It's not going to go well for them. It's just not. There's no evidence of it working. Not like my plan worked any better. Clearly mine also did not work, right? Obviously did not work also. However, mine had long-term impact. Theirs did not. That's the issue, right? Theirs does not. And I do want long-term impact. I know I keep trying. And maybe I'm smashing my head against the wall. But one of the biggest things I get to have, and I guess I'm lucky here, I punished myself twice for over a year. And as I punished myself, I did gain one thing. And that is enough of a microphone to try to move more people to change. People ask me often, and they still do, Larry, what are you going to change the world? I don't. I don't think I'm the guy to change the world. Do I think I'm the guy who can set it up to be changed? Yes, I do. And if that makes me crazy, then I guess I'm crazy. Because I do believe that. I believe I can be the guy or the part of guys or people who will set this nation up to be changed. I do. I hope that years to come, when whoever is the guy or gal who does something great goes, you know what motivated me to do something? It was that crazy Larry Sharpe guy. That guy, he motivated me to go do some stuff. And now I'm saving the world. Can I be that guy? I think I can. And if I can't, I'm going to try anyway. I think I can be that guy. I hope I can be that guy. I want to be that guy. So yes. Nate says, Larry Sharpe, is it really fair to call them parasite parties? I mean, parasites serve a legitimate function on Spaceship Earth and could take offense to the reference. Well, yeah, I need to find another word then. I like that though, but your point's a valid one. Am I insulting parasites? Maybe I am, but I do have to think about that, right? I do have to think about that. Is there a better word? Maybe, but my point is they just raise money and they just take the nominees from the two major parties. And since they take from everything, that is why I call them parasites. But maybe I'm wrong. If you want to change the word, I'm open to it. What do we call them? Phantom parties? Is that better? Ghost parties? Maybe. leech parties, whatever the case may be. So yes, any of them are fine. Jamie says, just think you could achieve in a state that's not as corrupt as New York. You would have better odds. Jamie, I would argue the reverse. And this is going to sound dumb. And maybe this is my naivete. But I'm a New Yorker. If I move to some other state, do I know that state? I mean, maybe if I lived there for 10 years, maybe, right? If I moved to some state and lived there for 10 years or so, maybe I could. It's possible. But I am a New Yorker. I've been here the vast majority of my life. I'm born here, raised here. I left while I was in the Marine Corps, but I came back. And I've been here for over 20 years again. 20 years when I was a kid, 20 years as an adult. And I've trusted this state. I know this state. I'm not sure, right, that I could do better anyplace else, whether my odds are better anyplace else. But something else, I don't know another state. I don't know them. Am I going to, move to Texas and go, hey, Texans, I'm Larry from New York. I'm here to run things. I got a feeling I'm not going to like it. I wouldn't like it if some Texan came up here and told me how to run stuff. So I would only assume they would feel the same, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some state that would love me to come and run their state. Maybe it exists. I just feel like that's not real. And I didn't like it when Hillary Clinton came over and said, I'm a New Yorker, I'm going to be your senator. I hated that. New Yorkers clearly didn't care because Democrat, Republican, you just do whatever they say. But I hated it. She's not a New Yorker. I mean, I guess now she technically is, but she wasn't then. To be forward, obviously I would never vote for Hillary Clinton. However, I will respect a run from her now more than then, because at least now she's been a New Yorker for a while. So I'd respect it more now. Still wouldn't vote for her. But then it was just obviously carpetbagger. I don't want to be that guy. I don't know. Tell me. 585-346-3000 is the number. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. Chat, I see you. You will give me tons of comments. I will get back to you, I promise. After the break, I'll deal with both you and the calls. Right after the break.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Are you cold in your home? Pick up the phone and call Wise Home Energy at 270-5836. Don't be cold in your home. Pick up the phone, call 270-5836. Wise Home Energy has helped thousands of people get millions in grants and rebates to make their homes much warmer. So don't be cold in your home. Pick up the phone, call Wise Home Energy at 270-5836 today.
Wise Home Energy is a participating contractor in the Home Performance with Energy Star program.
With incompetent, devious Washington and Albany leadership and a corrupt corporate media that uses news and social to control.
Okay, we have Craig Miles on the line.
And to promote a truth-based society for our
You're
families.
welcome.
Try something different in 2023. The WYSL stations can grow your business, professional practice, or organization, so allocate your ad dollars here. Take advantage of a huge audience entertained and informed by leading conservative thought. Affordable and effective. The WYSL stations, the voice of liberty. Call 346-3000 to advertise.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on WYSL, Rochester, New York. Sharpe Way Radio. So happy to have you here, giving me a chunk, small chunk of your afternoon. You know, before the break, I was talking about third parties and why they matter. And I know some people think it's nuts. I hear all the time, Larry, why bother? Two-party system, blah, blah, blah. It's what it is. You're right. It's hard. But how in the world do I get people to step up in a system that is gerrymandered, in a swampy system? We all know that, without having a third party, right? How do you do that without having a third party? How do I get people to pay attention without having a third party? Think about what's happened across the country when a third party gets in. It does matter. It really does. That's why I'm doing it, of course. So I did have someone say, hey, Larry, how about puppet parties? That's not bad. I like puppet party. That's not bad. Gene says that. Puppet party's not bad. All right, maybe that's better, Nate. Or am I insulting puppets? Not sure. I don't want to insult the puppets either. So maybe. I want to grab a call if I can. I've been all over the chat. Let me grab a call. I'm going to grab Craig. How are you, sir?
I'm not bad. How are you, Larry?
What's going on, my friend?
Oh, just calling because, it's a new year and I'm ready for some change and I think it's going to be good. I think all of our leaders are really going to take a long look at themselves in the mirror and say, I kind of bungled these last few years. Maybe I can do something and be better in 2023.
You think so?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because what have we done to show them that they bungled anything? They won. Again,
good point.
They didn't bungle anything. They got their jobs back. They get to argue about whether they send $1 billion or $26 billion to Ukraine. And, it's just the worst part of it is what you said earlier about the families. You always say when you remove got that backwards. You always say when you add government, you remove community. Well, now we're adding so much government, we're also removing the family. It's gotten to the family level. Now people literally don't have the holidays because someone likes Trump or someone likes Joe. It's unbelievable to me that people are deserting their families over something so stupid, over someone that they've never met, never talked to, and who will never care about them.
Yes, absolutely. You're completely correct. Look, you might think that Biden's policies are good or Trump's policies are good or whatever you might think, but those individuals don't know who you are. They're not going to help your family. They're not going to set you up. So why are you prepared to lose your family over them? Right? If you like their policies, awesome, vote for one of them. If you don't, vote for a third party. But either way, keep your family. Right? Keep your family. I'm completely with you, but we get so upset. We've infused politics with everything. And I feel it too. I talk about politics all the time, Craig. You hear me? All the time I talk politics. But I still love my family. And for those of you who don't know, my wife was a hardcore Democrat for years. Hardcore Democrat when I met her. Look, we live in New York City. Most of my friends are Democrats, right? Clearly. I live in New York City. Most of them are. But it doesn't mean I don't talk to them. And I have turned my wife, which is good. Took me time, but I did. But I still talk to friends who are Democrats. I'm clearly not a Democrat, but it doesn't matter. I still respect them as human beings. I still have conversations. And if you hear me talk, Craig, and I know you get this, I talk often about a difference between the average Democrat on the street and the Democratic establishment. The average Republican on the street and the Republican establishment. I have met many Republicans across New York State whom I adore. I have met some of the Republican establishment, and most of them are terrible. Just terrible people. Most of them are. And that will make Republicans upset. Wait a minute, you're saying my establishment is bad? Yes, I'm saying your establishment is bad. But they don't know any better. And it's Democrats too. The average Democrat is not a bad person. Democratic establishment is horrible. And I mean bad human beings, terrible people. But that's why they got in charge. And they fooled the average New Yorker to believe that they care about them. And they've allowed them to get even into their families. Craig, I'm sorry, you got me going, but it's true.
No, it's all true. Exactly. Everything that you say about that is on the money, especially the part where you talk about the distinction between the average voter and the establishment. That's what allows this whole trick to happen.
Yes.
It's not a question about whether Chuck Schumer does a good job or whether Lee Zeldin does a good job. It's not about that. It's a personal win or a loss for me. If my party loses, I'm a loser. They've made us identify with this party first and foremost, instead of saying, hey, I'm all of these things. My political beliefs are this. They make us the political belief. And if your political belief loses, you're a loser. You suck.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And it's like, we're not looking at, did my life get better? Right? Did my family get stronger? Are my kids supported more? Are my parents supported more? Anything that might matter to you. None of that. Do I have better roads? Whatever matters to you. Is the business environment better? Again, if you're a business owner, that matters to you. No, it's, did my guy win? We've turned politics into sports. So now I care if my team wins. But there's a big difference. Clearly, I was born and raised in the Bronx. I'm a Yankees fan. I want the Yankees to win. But I'm not going to throw my family member out because my family member likes the Mets. Right? It's fine. I mean, he's wrong, but that's fine. The Yankees are better, period. Just how it works. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to not go to Christmas with them. I'm not going to do that. We made it that politics is even worse than that.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the thing is that if the Mets or the Yankees win, it doesn't affect how I live my life at all. Like, at all. But
yes,
it's a really big deal if Uncle Joe wins or if Trump wins. They have a little bit of sway on what I have to do. The last thing I'll mention is you said the roads. Everyone always hits you with the roads. How'd the roads work in Buffalo these past few weeks?
Yeah.
How's that been going? My dad used to be the superintendent of highways for the town that I grew up in. And he said the first thing that always got cut in the budget was the highway fund. Always.
Yep.
Number one thing. So that thing that everyone always said, oh, you're a libertarian. What are you going to do about the roads? Nobody else cares about the roads. That's the first thing that they did. That's a stupid argument. I don't want to ever hear it again because that's the first thing they throw out. We don't need that. We spent more in 6 months on Ukraine than we do an entire year on the infrastructure across the country. That's how little they care about the roads.
Absolutely. And you know this. I asked him with a plan to get the roads fixed without extra taxes. So if they want to cut the highway budget, good. I had a plan to fix it. And nobody wanted to hear it. They just were like, I have to vote for red team, blue team. It's insane. I'm with you. In fact, someone did a special on this. There's a bridge that crosses between Ohio and Kentucky. And this bridge, has an insane amount of traffic, something like, 3% of our GDP crosses that bridge or something like that. It's some huge number. And they were trying to fix it for decades. Obama did an event there. He's going to fix it. Trump said he's going to fix it. Both are going to fix it. Nobody could fix it. The local people couldn't fix it. It sat there for 25 years, not being fixed. Local people can do it. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate the call.
Thank you, sir.
Look, it's a new year. We can hope that the big boys will fix things. They won't. What we can do and should do is look locally. We can fix locally. Guys, thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your day. I will see you all very soon.